What up, what up, what up? It's your boy LQ, Real Deal Fantasy HQ. This is the Fantasy Heat Check with my boy Cody. What up, bro?
Look, it is the best time of the year, man. Football is back. We have NFL football today. Fantasy week 1. I don't know about you, man, but after a whole long off season of like content without football, it's back. It feels good. I'm ready. We were bombarded with questions this week, so we'll have an incredible mailbag. So if you guys are in the comments or anything, feel free to give us some more. But oh man, it feels good. It feels good.
Back. I put my good shirt on today for the show because week 1 is here. We are going to get NFL football that counts. But for everybody that's watching right now, if you're watching on YouTube, Twitter, share the video. Make sure you like and subscribe, especially on Twitter. I'm almost at 1K. If I hit 1K before Sunday, it is possible. I will be doing a reunited of that video where I crash the beers, and it will be 10 times more epic. There's going to be an elephant, a tiger, balloons, fire, content only. Cody,
I'll tell you what LQ. I'll join in LQ. If you get to 1K this weekend, I will eat an entire banana, and I'm talking the peel. I will eat the whole fucking thing, top to bottom. I will eat an entire banana peel
right now. I need to see this.
All right, if we get 1,000 before Sunday,
I'm telling you, Saturday night,
an entire banana
right there. Yeah, Saturday night,
an entire banana.
Boom!
I'll do it Sunday morning before kickoff. Get some
potassium. Like and subscribe right now. For each like, please.
No, I am not getting. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying I'm going to eat a banana for each like. Hell no.
Yeah, each like you have to eat that many bananas. If I hit one,
not a chance. But I'm excited for week 1, man. We got a lot. So it's not on our show sheet because I made my show sheet before like an hour ago, and we had some breaking news, LQ, and I say it every time. Injuries suck. They are my least favorite thing about fantasy football.
Yeah.
And we have another Ravens running back with another torn ACL, this time Gus Edwards. So we lost J.K. Dobbins earlier in the year.
This is nuts, man. I don't know what field they're practicing on. I don't know what their strength and conditioning coach is doing, but man, this is rough. Like another running back injury. Like, I know we're talking about fantasy, but Marcus Peters also tore his ACL in that same practice. Like, what field are they on right now? It does not make sense of what's going on over there in the Ravens camp. Maybe they're cursed. I don't know, bro.
Yeah, and what's crazy about that is there are like, I understand we're like, oh, there's injury luck. Like there's adverse injury luck. But it reminds me of like, remember that one year that the 49ers had like everybody tear their ACL? This almost reminds me of that. And it's crazy to have two in the same day.
In the same day.
And like, I tell you what, like I have, for people who like play fantasy with defenses, I know I have a couple leagues that still play with defenses. Like that impacts Marcus Peters impacts the Ravens defense quite a bit. And for opposing wide receivers who go against him, because he's the dude's a ball
back there be productive as well. But to lose Peters, a playmaker, elite corner, that's rough to replace.
Yeah, that's tough for the Ravens as a team. From a fantasy standpoint, losing Gus Edwards, if you drafted him after the J.K. Dobbins injury, this is obviously a big blow. If you drafted him before before the J.K. Dobbins injury and then just kind of like lucked into him getting the starting role, it's not as big of a blow because you didn't pay as high of a price. But
yeah.
So we got to talk about the two guys who are currently in the backfield, right? We have Tyson Williams and we have Le'Veon Bell. As it stands right now.
And Devontae Freeman, breaking news, Devontae Freeman just signed as well.
So we now have 3 running backs in that backfield.
Yeah.
All right, LQ off the dome. All right, I'm going to ask you to rank them 1, 2, 3 season long. Not talking week 1. It's obviously going to be Tyson Williams because Le'Veon Bell and Freeman were literally just signed this week. So it's going to be Tyson Williams week 1. But 100%. Season long, how would you rank those 3?
I'm going Williams, Bell, Freeman. I mean, that's the only way I can put it. Bell didn't play very well last year or the year before that. And it's like, I can't see myself, going on the waiver, rushing to go get Le'Veon Bell and expecting him to put up any type of relevant fantasy points right out the gates, being that, he just got signed to the Ravens. We understand it's a run-first offense, but how good is he going to be in that run-first offense. I think Gus Edwards was a hell of a talent behind J.K. Dobbins, and I really think those two complemented each other. But when you throw in a Devontae Wash Freeman and then you throw in a Le'Veon Bell, who kind of took a step back, they kind of lost that step to be as electric, as explosive as he used to be that we loved when he was in Pittsburgh. I can't see myself running to any of these guys. Now, Tyson Williams is a very young, hungry, undrafted free agent running back. So season long, I could see him trying to make a name for himself, playing with something he has, he has something to prove. Like he needs to really take this opportunity by the horns and just full send it.
And I think something that people kind of forget about with Le'Veon Bell is a ton of his value in Pittsburgh came from catching the ball, right? Like he was dynamic in Pittsburgh. He was able to run and catch. And the Jets did not use him in the passing game nearly to the capacity that the Steelers did. The Chiefs did not use him in the passing game nearly to the capacity that the Steelers did. Yeah. And the Ravens will not use him in the passing game nearly to the capacity that the Steelers did. So we are not expecting the Le'Veon Bell of the past. I think more than anything, this backfield got by committee real quick. I would bid 20% of my fab for Williams. I like that. I think I
don't think I'm in a hurt situation, honestly, unless you're a Gus Edwards, shareholder. I feel like I'm not in that big of a hurt for running back right now because I know the roulette for running backs is kind of tough, but I'm not spending that much fab on Williams just because he's in a run-first offense because, again, he's unproven. We haven't seen anything to where we can say season long, this can be my guy where I can just chunk off my fab budget to go get this guy. So I'd like 20%. That's a head-on, pick right there, Cody.
Yeah, I just don't. He's unproven, right? Like there's a risk. $100 fab, I do $20, right? So the honestly, more than anything, I think it gives you a little bit of a bump to Lamar because Lamar's gonna have to do it himself.
Lamar's running 50 times a game.
Himself.
His rushing attempts are about to be disgusting.
Bro, fingers crossed. I hope that man stays healthy.
I mean, of course we all know there's a risk factor with guys that are running out of the pocket more times than they should, but I think Lamar Jackson will be able to take care of himself and run out of bounds, slide when need be, not take the extra bumps and bruises.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's head on to some other injury stuff heading into week one. Just some brief things we want to touch on. I know Eckler had some hamstring tightness. I don't think he practiced yesterday. I'm not worried about Eckler. I think he plays. He's gone out and said, hey, look, I'm not worried about it. Tweeted. I think he's good. Deandre Swift. First off, can we just address the wild rumors on the internet? What?
Yeah.
Somebody gave an anonymous tip that Swift was involved in a murder? What are we doing?
Yo, that is like the all-time. Like this has to be like fantasy related because somebody had to call in, leave that tip, and it'll be like, I'm not trying to face DeAndre Swift this week. That's basically what it came down to.
It's either that or it's a 49ers fan where they're like, the only way we can lose in week one. It's like, what are we doing? All right.
Yeah.
Look,
the Swift drama is not real. I'm not playing into any of it. It's just random stuff from Reddit. Like there's a weird space in Reddit. Like what the hell goes on there?
I don't know, dude. The internet's a weird place. I am more concerned about his groin than I am his innocuous murder. But I am a little concerned about his groin. And by that, I mean, I think he plays. I just don't know if he's 100%. And against the 49ers defense, obviously you start your studs. And if you drafted Swift, you're probably going to have to start him this week. Just be ready that he might not give you a massive workload that we expect out of DeAndre Swift going into the season. I think it does give Jamal Williams a little bit of a bump if you're in a deeper league.
It does.
Saquon.
But the thing is, before we move on, do we see ourselves putting Williams into our flex positions though? I don't see myself pulling the trigger on that. So if you have Swift, you start Swift, and he might be on a leash. Like I want people to have the expectations of not getting a full load out of Swift, being that we just watched Curtis Samuel with the same exact injury groin injury get tweaked off of a simple route. So it's probably something they're going to monitor and keep him on a short leash. So don't expect the full send out of Swift.
Yep. And speaking of guys who are on a leash, Saquon Barkley, I get that he's 100% healthy. The Giants kind of got screwed schedule-wise. They play 2 games in 5 days, right? So they play the Sunday game, right? And then they play the Thursday night game next week. So I think Saquon's going to be on a little bit of a pitch count. That being said, you drafted Saquon. You're playing Saquon. The dude needs one play, right? He might get 15 to 18 touches this game. That is good enough to start Saquon. Right?
100%.
So
and you paid for the dip. You bought, like, if you drafted like how most people draft in August, you bought the dip. Like, these reports, these rumors coming out that he's going to be limited scared people away in the first round. I saw somebody tweeted the other day they got Saquon at the 208. That is insane. Like, people were that scared. And then even if he's at the back end of the first round, where I got my shares of at the 110, I feel like I'm stealing at this point because, again, he has home run ability. He's that guy can literally get the ball on the 40 and then take it to the house. So, again, you bought the dip, you start Saquon regardless.
Yep, absolute stud and season long. I'm not worried. Last guy, injury-wise, Evan Ingram. If you are unfortunate enough to have to start Evan Ingram, I would be looking elsewhere. Joe Judge said he's looking doubtful heading into Sunday. So
you can't catch a break.
Yeah. Hopefully, I mean, look, short injury report this week. Hopefully we don't have to talk about it a whole hell of a lot. Yeah. Some guys we do want to talk about though, right? These are a list. It's a short list, but there's some guys that I'm looking to add onto my rosters prior to week 1 that might pop and be some hot waiver names going into next week, right? So LQ, you got to give one guy who's a guy who you think might pop week 1, and then everybody's going to like scramble to get on the waiver wire.
Nyheim Hines is definitely the guy that you're going to want to add if he is there available on the wire. Overreaction Monday will be a thing, being that we just saw that Marlon Mack was listed as the 3rd running back on the depth chart. And the Colts believe in Nyheim Hines as an all-around, running back. And he got that respect, and the coaching staff says he earned those touches to be an all-around running back, not just a pass catcher, but having the pass catching ability is definitely a plus. So, with that being said, you want to go grab Nyheim Hines and stash him right now before Overreaction Monday hits, and then you're not going to have the opportunity.
In PPR leagues, Nyheim Hines, I think, is going to have a lot of value. I think he has some value week 1, to be honest, with Paris Campbell being out and then T.Y. Hilton starting on the IR. I think Nyheim Hines needs some good passing volume, so I agree. I think he's a guy that can, if he pops week 1, people are going to start freaking out. Another guy, the king of week 1, Sammy Watkins plays better week 1 than he does the entire rest of the season. I don't know how he manages to do it. Somehow he is like the only healthy Ravens wide receiver. They play a terrible Las Vegas secondary, and Marquise Brown has dealt with some injuries. Obviously, Rashad Bateman is starting the season on the IR. He's going to be their number 1 target. And Sammy Watkins, could absolutely go out and have himself a day. I would not be shocked if we were sitting here and say Sammy Watkins went for, 6 for 85 and a score. That wouldn't shock me.
It wouldn't.
So he's a guy that I'm looking to add solely to just add and dump, right? I'll add him for the week, have somebody reach out and because injuries happen. Everybody overreacts to week 1. See if you can sell him. And I like that. Another guy that I like, I'm going to go back to wide receiver again. Tyrell Williams. I think he gets quite a bit of volume. I expect the Detroit Lions to be down early, and we don't really know how that passing game is going to work out yet.
Yeah.
If Tyrell Williams gets some serious volume, I like adding him this week and then saying, okay, we know he's going to be the dude, and he's a guy that you could hold on to for the rest of the season and maybe matchup specific, throw in and out of your lineup.
Exactly. I agree. I really feel like we have to wait and see what exactly that offense looks like. But, excuse me. I remember when Tyrell Williams was a Charger. Back into the season, he started getting some heat, being able to stretch the field, Rivers targeting him, making those catches, making touchdowns, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, he leaves the Chargers and we never hear of him again. But I definitely feel like, now him being the guy potentially in Detroit with Goff, who can be a serviceable quarterback, he can honestly see the volume and then end up, producing week to week if he is quote unquote the guy.
Yeah, for sure. And the last guy we have on this list, I think we're kind of both in agreement here. Wayne Gallman.
Yes.
I don't expect a ton out of him week one, to be quite honest, because he did just join the Falcons recently. But
yeah,
looks good. Be on the lookout because Mike Davis is by all means not entrenched into that RB1 spot in Atlanta. I like Mike Davis personally. I do. But if you're telling me that I have a chance at Wayne Gallman, who's like, Wayne Gallman's good. Like Wayne Gallman's a good running back. So
he looked good. I was surprised he was actually let go by San Fran, but I think they are confident that Jeff Wilson comes back from injury. He'll be able to be serviceable. But that's really a notion that Trey Sermon is actually killing it. And
and I think they're really confident in Mostert, Sermon. I think they have another running back on their roster. I can't remember. Jermichael Hasty, maybe. Elijah Mitchell, who are going to play some special teams reps. And I don't think Gallman's a special teams guy. So, look, he looked good. He's a guy that I'm certainly keeping my eye on this week. Maybe I added him in, one league to say, you know what? Hey, maybe if he pops off week one, I'll be ahead of the curve. But
exactly.
All right. Speaking of week one, LQ, it's time. Okay. You know better than anybody, and I know you come with the heat. All right. It's not called the fantasy heat check for no reason. All right. We got bold predictions. We got some best bets. I am pumped for tonight's game, but we're going to hit all of week one while we're here. So LQ, hit me with the fire. What are your bold predictions and best bets for week one?
I think we're going to see Justin Fields at some point on that Sunday night game against my Rams. And I'm thinking like third quarter, we're going to see him right after halftime. We're going to see the switch. We're going to see him warming up. He's going to be putting in, getting some work in because Andy Dalton's in trouble. He has Aaron Donald and the rest of that defense coming at him full speed. So when you have a guy like Fields that can roll out of the pocket, extend the plays, be able to just be, what we saw out of the preseason. Like he was having a good time getting away from pressure, making double coverage, passes. And it's like, whoa, he is the real deal. So I'm going to say bold prediction. We see him earlier than we were expecting, and he'll be locking up that starting position for the rest of the season. So Matt Nagy didn't lie. He started Andy Dalton. He just didn't finish.
He gives him a half. He's like, hey, you're our quarterback. Oh, man. So my bold prediction for this week is I'm going to stick quarterback, and I think Tannehill is going to lead all quarterbacks in fantasy points in week one. And the reason I'm saying this is the Cardinals defense stinks. Their corners stink. They had they signed Malcolm Butler. He ended up retiring. Patrick Peterson is now in Minnesota. I don't know who their corners are. To be quite honest with you, they are that bad. So I expect this game to be a shootout. It's the second highest total of the week at 52.5. They're going to be points in this game. I think Tannehill leads the charge. And look, Julio, healthy. AJ Brown, you get Tannehill's going to eat, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, he's going to feast. It's going to be a bad situation for Arizona. And hey, it is what it is. I have plenty of shares of Derrick Henry. I have plenty of shares of Tannehill. So it's like, yeah, these guys are going to eat. And I like that bold take. He could be QB1 this week.
Let's go. All right. Give me another one. What you got?
Well, I'm going to hit it with the best bet that I think we can actually bank on. And that's Tom Brady going over 302 passing yards tonight against the very bad Dallas Cowboys. This is a smash for the simple fact I don't see Tom Brady, holding up if the game starts to get away. I definitely think he's going to full send it. It's a big stage. It's opener night. He's fired up, and we've seen him perform at a high level, on every single stage possible, playoff, Super Bowl, et cetera, et cetera. I definitely think this is a smash for me that he'll throw over the 302.
Ooh, I love that play. I look, the Bucks Cowboys. It's going to be a high scoring game. I think Bucks are minus 9.5 right now.
Yeah.
So it might be a little one sided. I'm sticking with the Bucks. All right, but I'm going different for my best bet. I'm going Ronald Jones over 48.5 rushing yards. So I think the sports books are capitalizing on everybody remembers from the Super Bowl, like Lombardi Lenny playoff Lenny Leonard Fournette.
Yeah.
People don't forget that Ronald Jones was nearly 1,000-yard rusher on 14 games last year. He was
with less than 200 carries.
Very, very good. Average over 5 yards a carry. The guy is a stud.
3 running backs done that with less than 200 carries.
Yeah,
just put that out there.
Super, super talented. 48.5 feels like cheating, especially if the Buccaneers get up. They could absolutely run the football. And 50 yards, Ronald Jones could get that in a couple bunch plays. Look, that's my best bet for tonight. And we'll be tweeting out more and stuff for as
we'll be tweeting all night.
It'll be fun, and we got more stuff going into the week. I have another bold. I don't know if this is bold. But we'll see how it goes. But I am going that both San Francisco 49ers running backs, both Raheem Mostert and Trey, end up in the top 15 this week. All right. I'm saying they both end up top 15 running backs.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Look, you can call me bold, you can call me stupid. It is what it is. And here's my reasoning why. Detroit, like Trey Sermon is very, very good. Raheem Mostert is very, very good. And Shanahan will split carries. I could see both of these guys getting 15 to 18 touches against a terrible Detroit team.
Yeah.
And they're going to lean on the run. That's what they've done in the past. I understand Jimmy Garoppolo's starting. They're still going to lean on the run. All it takes, they could absolutely split red zone work. Call it bold. I think they're not, and this is kind of more of it's obviously a week one prediction, but it gives me an inkling on how I feel about them season-wise too. I think they're both going to be relevant all year, and I think they both show out and dominate in week one.
Hopefully Mostert can stay healthy so we can get a full season out of him and actually see what he's really about. Trey Sermon, I think at some point we're going to see him as the 1A in this situation rather than the 1B.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Give me all the shares of the San Francisco running back group. They are damn good. Damn good. All right. Do we want to go any more bold? We got anything else that's bold, or are we going to hit the mailbag?
Let's hit the mailbag because I know some people are in here watching. They want some of their questions answered, and we're going to start right now with the mailbag. And I'll take the first one, man, because I feel like this is okay to ask now about where do we rank A.J. Brown. Shout out Seb for the question. Last week it was brought up, and A.J. Brown to me, I feel like is definitely a top 12 wide receiver. I don't think I can full send him all the way up there, being that they have a Julio Jones there, a big name, a guy that's going to demand a lot of targets, and I don't think they're going to shy away from the run. So somebody is not going to hit as big as we would expect, but I could rank him at 12.
I got him top 5, and he ain't 5.
Oh,
top 5, and he ain't 5. And look, it doesn't necessarily. I love that they brought in Julio Jones, right? And I can see how people would be scared off. I get it, right? He is a target monster. He's very good at football. But here's the other thing that I have to Corey Davis is gone, right? Adam Humphries is gone. Jonnu Smith is gone, right? So it's more than just bringing in Julio, right? Those targets have to be replaced. Julio's going to take a bunch of them, but I think A.J. Brown can take some of those too. I mean, he showed he was a stud last year, and he was dealing with a hamstring tightness and some stuff all year long. A.J. Brown is very, very good. It's part of the reason why I'm so high on Tannehill. But I am a big, big A.J. Brown believer. Shout out Kevin. We made it.
We made it. But the thing is too, what I like about the Julio and A.J. Brown, duo, Tannehill's going to reap benefits from both. I absolutely love it. Let's get to the next one. Sure. So all the next one. This is actually funny because this came at the end of the show last week. I'll let you read it.
All right. They challenged me to a bet. All right. Or us, but I'm gonna take it on personally because I know the guy. If Wentz doesn't finish top 15, I'll Venmo $1 for every spot he finishes beneath it. All right. Here's the deal. I am absolutely in on that. John, I will 100% Venmo you $1 for every spot he finishes above 15. I'll even double it. I will Venmo you $2 for every spot he finishes above 15 if he finishes above 15. We'll see how it goes. Don't get me wrong. I like Wentz. I think he has a bounce back year. I think this is more about the lack of weapons in Indianapolis than it is about Carson Wentz. So we'll see how it goes. But let's hit the next one. All right, LQ, I'm gonna let you take this.
So the next one, we got Blaine from Twitter asking, should he start Debo or Allen Robinson in his flex?
Bro, start your studs. Oh shit, Jalen Ramsey. I forget.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Ramsey.
Oh,
lock it up, Ramsey. I don't know if we start Allen Robinson this week as a full send. I have this dilemma in about 2 or 3 of my leagues where I don't know if I should start Allen Robinson, but I always look at my bench, like who could I replace him with? And honestly, I think I can replace him with a better matchup with Deebo Samuel, who's really the wide receiver 1 there. Not the number 1 target there. Obviously, that's Kittle, but I think the next guy down is definitely Deebo Samuel. So,
see, I disagree there. I think it's Ayuk.
Why does everybody think that?
Bro, because he dominated last year, bro. And
Kyle Shanahan
traded up to the draft. Follow the draft capital, pal. They traded up to get him first.
Heavens no. We paid a 2nd round draft capital on Tutu Atwell. We're gonna follow that.
All right, fine.
No, man. I do not think Ayuk is the guy. I don't think he's number 1 because he has yet to show us in a game where Kittle and Deebo Samuel are healthy that he brings in enough volume to be the actual number 1.
All right.
I'm telling you, bro, they're both healthy. He's going to be the 3rd option. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. But at the question at hand, I am going to have to stick with start my studs. I'm going to have to take Robinson, but it's close. It's closer than I would like to admit.
It's really close. It's hard. It's a hard decision because we know what the Rams defense are packing. And the problem really is it's Andy Dalton. Like if Justin Fields was named starter 2 months ago or 2 weeks ago or whatever, 2 days ago, I'm full sending Allen Robinson. I really think he's a better option. He'll be able to extend the play, et cetera, going to that spiel. Andy Dalton is what bothers me with this matchup of starting Allen Robinson more so than, just the Rams defense. It's Aaron Donald is going to rip Andy Dalton's head off. Like I'm telling you right now, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I think part of the reason I'm concerned is if you can't be relying on a touchdown from Allen Robinson. He might go 8 for 70, but he ain't score. I think the Bears have a low scoring week this week. So it is what it is. So we'll shout out Chris, our next question. He's saying, drop J.D. McKissick for Ty Johnson.
No, do not do that. Do not drop J.D. McKissick for Ty Johnson. And I'm feeling good about Ty Johnson this season, but I'm not okay with dropping J.D. McKissick right now, being that Curtis Samuel was facing injury. So with him facing injury, and essentially it's the same team that we saw last year, if anything, where Logan Thomas, Terry McLaurin, and then Fitzpatrick, he has the check down ability with J.D. McKissick, and I definitely think you should be riding the coattails of J.D. McKissick because the man is a target monster. In PPR formats, he ate last year. So stick with JD. Feel good about it.
Yep. And that should, only improve with that Redskins offense. So the next one, LQ, am I reading this right? Yeah, Bears line is bad. That's facts.
Bears are
LQ, am I reading this next one right? Like, is that typed out correctly?
Yes. Frank from Twitter, Monty for Kareem Hunt and Chris Carson. That is crazy. That was
if you haven't pressed accept by now, what are you doing, buddy? Like
that's a smash. It's a smash for the simple fact Kareem Hunt has top 15 ability, and so does Chris Carson. Monty, yeah, he can be a top 10 this year, but I don't believe in Matt Nagy of full sending Monty because I definitely think, he'll try to get cute and involve Damian Williams. Tariq Coleman's out on injury, so that can't be part of the narrative. But I don't know, man. There's just too much value in that trade, and I'm smashing that. Give me Kareem Hunt and Chris Carson 100%.
I'd have to check my rankings, but I'm 90% sure I have Monty and Carson ranked right next to each other. Yeah. Right? I think I have them ranked almost right next to each other. So the difference in that is definitely a lot less than what Kareem Hunt brings. So smash accept for sure.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Tyson Williams after the Gus injury? We kind of touched about that on that earlier in the show, but just to recap, he's going to have some value, right? He's going to have some value. I don't think it's a full. We're not dumping the workload on this guy like he's not a Derrick Henry, he's not an Alvin Kamara, like he's not going to lead his, like he's not going to shoulder the backfield touches, but he'll definitely have some value, especially in week 1, because they're not going to give a ton of.
Looks like
I don't
hate away from Le'Veon Bell.
I don't hate Lev Bell ads. Like there's a path to Le'Veon Bell for fantasy.
What up, Manny?
Manny, I agree. It's going to be messy early, right? Like it'll figure week 1, Tyson Williams is going to have it just because the other guys have not been on the roster for very long. But it could become backfield by committee real quick. We'll see how it works out. Is he worth a speculative ad? Absolutely. I mean, if you get him on your bench and he does happen to go off this week, like that's a win. There aren't many guys like we're talking like JD McKissick and Ty Johnson. I'd much rather have Tyson Williams than both of those guys. So I just think the upside is there.
Yep.
Tannehill or Bucks. Oh man. So I'm kidding you not, LQ. In my home league, I am faced with this situation exactly. I have Dak Prescott and I have Ryan Tannehill. And I am starting Ryan Tannehill tonight.
Really?
Yes. I have some concern with Dak's first game back from his shoulder. We also forget how dominant that Bucs defense was in the Super Bowl. And guess what? They didn't lose anybody.
They brought everybody back in their mom.
Yep. So that concerns me. They're missing Zach Martin. Well, I'm not all it. Like I think both guys could have good weeks.
They could.
But I think Tannehill has a great
Tannehill will blow out more, I agree.
I mean, bro,
I'm starting Tannehill versus the Arizona Cardinals because we touched on it earlier. That defense is pretty bad. So.
That's my bold prediction. So give me Tannehill.
Tanning could eat. So I feel you, but as a guy who has Dak in my starting lineup tonight in a couple of my leagues, I feel confident he can give me 20 to 25 points. I can deal with that.
Yeah, I still feel good.
I'm okay with that.
Like it's just I like Tannehill better, right? Like that's like picking between like your favorite piece of pizza and your favorite.
He would just have more fantasy points. I really feel like he's going to hit you with the yards. He's going to hit you with multiple touchdowns. Dak, he has a tough matchup, so let's hope he pulls out at least 20 points and at least 2 touchdowns. Let's just go with that.
For sure. All right, LQ. This one's kind of tough, right? Like I had to do some mental gymnastics on it a little bit, but we're sticking with quarterbacks. I want to know, how are you picking up Winston and dropping Matt Jones? Shout out Ryan Wheat on Twitter.
When he asked me this initially, I was saying like no, like don't drop Mac Jones to go pick up Jameis Winston. But I don't know. I really might say Winston's the better play season long here. But I just don't feel right about dropping Mac Jones before he even takes a snap, in week 1. I kind of want to say you roll the dice with Winston still being available in your league after this tough matchup against the Packers, and you kind of just sit on it. Let's just wait and see what Mac Jones can do at, NFL high-level full count it all season, you know what I mean? I just want to see if, Mac Jones can get the job done through the wide receivers, get, production. Is Jacoby Myers finding the end zone? Is Damon Harris, able to find scoring opportunities, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, if Mac Jones is able to move the offense. So let that question be answered after week 1 before we pull the trigger.
I'm on the other side of this. I'm going with Winston, man. My thought is he's done it. Been there, done that. Like Jameis Winston has been a top 5 fantasy quarterback before.
Yeah.
Mac Jones is a rookie. Right? Like there's some risk, but I think the likelihood of Winston being top 10 is higher than the likelihood of Mac Jones being top 10. So we'll see how it goes. Tyson being the next James Robinson. I hate that, man. Cause it's like, that's a once in a decade thing. We'll see how it goes.
Latavius, everyone. Most likely, Kevin. I can actually see that happen. They're signing guys like Devontae Freeman with Murray still out there floating, which is wild to me. I don't know. It must be some coaching history we don't know about that Devontae Freeman gets signed up so quick.
Well, and I think part of it too is they already had Freeman in for a visit earlier this offseason, so they already knew what they had, and they didn't have to worry about bringing him in. But
I like the next mailbag. You want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Corey Davis, or do you start Marvin Jones in the flex spot? PPR, by the way.
I think Marvin Jones has a better matchup because the Texans stink. I think Corey Davis
has the Panthers.
Plays which the Panthers aren't great defensively, but they're solid.
Yeah.
But I think Corey Davis is the better player.
This is tough. I really couldn't answer him like right away. I had to think about it too. So I'm curious of what you lean here.
I'm going to go in a PPR league. I am going to go Corey Davis just because I think that it's kind of like we know Corey Davis is going to be the number one in that offense, and Elijah Moore is going to be number two, but like kind of a 1A to 1B. Marvin Jones, the thing that worries me about that, the Jags offense, is we have a new coach, and then DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault, Marvin Jones. I'm not 100% sure how those targets are going to be distributed. I would rather watch for a week and go with Corey Davis than because I feel like it's kind of a coin flip with Marvin Jones.
I actually went Marvin Jones. I got to be honest.
I hate when we disagree, bro. I love it, but I hate it.
Bro, I love the matchup. I love what Marvin Jones brings to the table. He's a guy that finds the end zone. I've been saying it all offseason. He's always been a guy you can grab in the 10th round, and he produces when his name is called. If you got a wide receiver on bye or he goes down with injury, you throw in Marvin Jones and he finds the end zone. This is what we love about Marvin Jones. Back-to-back seasons having 9 touchdowns. So I think I'm leaning more Marvin Jones just based off of the matchup. The Texans suck. So, like, I really think this gives Trevor Lawrence confidence going into the next week, being that if he rips them apart. And I think the guys that reap benefits of that is obviously Marvin Jones, Shenault, and maybe Chark. So, yeah, I'm full sending Marvin Jones over this revenge game Sam Darnold has with the Jets.
I have the Texans winning this game.
Oh, you are a sick motherfucker. If they win this game, I'll eat a banana. Just fold it in half and just
that was a terrible idea. I can't believe no,
we ain't doing that. We ain't doing that. Take it back.
Oh my god!
I take it back. You can't clip this one. I'm taking it back.
Fine. You just have to do something. But that's one of my. I think like the Texans like win this game and then lose out. I just think it'd be funny. Yeah. But I think Tyrod, Tyrod Taylor. We'll see. All right.
Yeah,
the next two questions are similar. They both involve Deontay Johnson. So I'm gonna give you. We'll play a name game, LQ, and I'm gonna say Deontay Johnson, and shout out Blake and Alex for bringing this up. Deontay Johnson or Antonio Brown in the flex. Standard.
AB. Antonio Brown 100%. More likely to find the end zone than Deontay Johnson.
I agree. I also think tough matchup with the Bills. Tre'Davious White, great corner. We'll see how they match up there, but yeah, I would go Antonio Brown too. I think he feasts. Cowboys defense stinks. 100%. Deontay Johnson or T. Higgins.
You might have got me. Damn it. I'm going to go T. Higgins because he's the alpha there.
I am going T. Higgins. And it comes down to the matchup is tough with Trey White if Trey White does guard Deontay Johnson. The other thing, too, is T. Higgins, I think, has a really, really good chance to find the end zone this week. I'm not a believer in that Vikings defense. I think Patrick Peterson is kind of I love the guy. He's not as explosive as he once was. And with Jamar Chase not looking incredible, right? The first couple of weeks. I think they lean on T. Higgins. The guy was dominant last year. He was damn near MVP of training camp. As a Bengals fan, there have been nothing but good things out of camp about T. Higgins. Yeah. So it's really exciting to see. And I think T. Higgins does have a big week 1. I think the Bengals offense has a big week 1. So we'll see how it goes. I'm checking now and looking. I want to see who is the first to score in this game, or like a touchdown score.
It's probably gonna be Tyler Boyd.
They don't have it up yet. That's sad. But I would put the NFL ball is hard to catch. Okay, first off, that quote was taken entirely. I got to rant on my Bengals here a little bit. That quote was taken entirely out of context. They literally asked him what is different about catching a ball in the NFL between catching a ball in college. Like they specifically asked about the ball. So of course he's going to give an answer about the football. Like that's what he did. And instead of he's like, it's different. It's different to see. It comes in a little bit differently. That'd be like the difference between pitching a softball and pitching a baseball. It's like, what? Yeah, one's different colors. Like, come on, dude. That's getting so blown out of the proportion. These dudes, Jamar Chase is one of the best athletes at the highest level of the sport. And we're worried that he can't catch a football because it's not the same color scheme. Get out of here, dude. What are we doing? Oh, people!
Look what you did, Kevin. Why'd you do that, Kevin?
Bro, the people got me worked up. Bengals plus 3.5. I think they win outright. God, I can't do that. Football season is too stressful, bro. I need some Tums and some heartburn medication. It get me all worked up. Absurd. This is ridiculous.
This is a fantasy heat check. You do need to get heated and riled up. But that is the end of the mailbag, and we had a great show. This really flew by. I didn't even know we were at the 42-minute mark, and shout out to everybody that came through, and the questions were awesome. Kevin, shout out to you getting Cody all riled up about his Bengals. We would like to do that once a week. Once a week, we want to get you all riled up about your Bengals. Hopefully,
Kevin, you better like and subscribe. I'm telling you right now, you better like and subscribe. All right, I am pissed. This is ridiculous.
I need to hit 1K, man. If I hit 1K subscribers, like I said earlier in the show, it'll be a movie. It'll be a movie, and there will be a tiger. There will be fire. All the good things, man.
Yes.
So definitely
thank
you for showing up.
I hate it. All right. Oh, man. Hey, what an incredible show. Follow us on social media at Real Deal Fantasy, at Smash Hit Sports, right? And follow on Instagram. We've got some good stuff on there too. The website, we have articles, we have DFS stuff, the DFS video. I am super excited for those boys. They're going to crush it.
Yes.
Our DFS dudes are really, really good. Sean and Lee, they are good at what they do. I am not a big DFS guy. And when people ask me, they're like, hey, DFS, what do you think about this lineup? I'm like, look, y'all got to ask Sean and Lee because they're the guys here at Real Deal who really crush that stuff. So,
yes, sir.
Oh, man, I can't wait. There's money to be made. There's football to be on. I'm going to throw some burgers on the grill tonight, maybe make a little BLTs, do some of that action. Get a good dip. Get a nice, a cheese dip. Oh, man. I love football season. It's great.
Hey, man, before we get out of here, we got to thank the sponsorship. Sports Me app, download it right now and get your face out there, get your takes out there. Hot takes are welcome. We can be very connected with your audience on there as well. I'm on there. Cody's on there. Cody's on there. And we'll be giving the hot takes all season long. So download the Sports Me app right
Bro,
now.
I love the Sports Me app. They do such an incredible job. It's good to give some fire takes back and forth. It's like debating sports at a bar, but on the internet. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That's all we want.
Bringing people together
for sports. That's all we want. So download the Sports Me app right now. You'll be able to see the hottest, latest, and greatest fantasy content on there as well. And I just hit my mic. So Cody. I called you Katie.
Katie, bro. Come on, man. It's a terrible day. I'm leaving the podcast. Between you and Kevin, I'm out. See ya. Roll the clip. End the show.